Recently, Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky met again. Now, if you remember their earlier meeting in February, it was awkward, tense, and frankly disappointing. But this time, something surprising happened. Instead of cold handshakes and stiff body language, the two leaders looked much warmer, almost friendly. And while the meeting ended without any big flashy announcement, behind the scenes, something historic was quietly set in motion. Because right after this meeting, Trump called Vladimir Putin, and in that 40-minute phone call, Putin agreed for the very first time to meet Zelensky directly in a trilateral summit. This could be the biggest diplomatic breakthrough in years. Why? Because until now, Putin refused to even acknowledge Zelensky as Ukraine's legitimate leader, let alone sit with him at the same table. But before we celebrate, let's be clear. Reaching peace is not going to be easy. There are three main roadblocks blocking any possible deal. The most controversial issue is land. Russia wants control over the Donbas region, especially Donetsk. In exchange, Putin says he will stop pushing further into Ukraine. Sounds like a compromise, not really. Because Ukraine doesn't get anything in return. They are basically being asked to just give away their land. Trump has hinted he supports this kind of deal, but Zelensky is firm. Ukraine's constitution requires a national referendum for any border change, and surveys show around 80% of Ukrainians reject giving up even a single piece of land. So, this is a deadlock. Russia wants land, Ukraine refuses to surrender it, and Western allies say forced concession would set a dangerous precedent. Imagine if tomorrow a stronger neighbor is invaded your country and just took away a chunk of territory. That's the fear. Second problem, security. Russia's biggest demand is that Ukraine must never join NATO. For Putin, NATO expansion is a red line. But Ukraine sees NATO as its only real protection. After years of war, why would Ukrainians trust Russia not to attack again? Here's where the US stepped in. Washington is offering something close to NATO Article 5. If Ukraine is attacked again, the US promises to defend it almost like NATO ally. Along with this, America has pledged a massive 90 billion US dollar arms package, including fighter jets, air defense systems, and more. European countries are also backing this with training, intelligence sharing, and extra aid. But there's a big trust issue. Remember the Budapest Memorandum of 1994? Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons in exchange for security guarantees from the US, UK, and Russia. And yet, in 2014, Crimea was annexed, and those promises didn't protect Ukraine. So the question is, why should Ukraine trust these new guarantees now? And the third challenge is the war itself. While leaders talk in fancy hotels and conference rooms, the actual fighting on the ground continues, especially in Donetsk and Zaporizhia. Ukrainian soldiers are putting up strong resistance, but Russia keeps pushing offensive. Meanwhile, millions of civilians are displaced, infrastructure destroyed, and people face shortage of food and medicine. This means time is working against both sides. The longer the war continues, the harder it becomes to find compromise because hatred deepens with every bomb and every casualty. So, what are the possible outcomes? 1. Ukraine gives up some land in return for peace, but this is usually unpopular in Ukraine and goes against international law. 2. A ceasefire with strong international guarantees, but credibility is the issue. Can Ukraine really trust the West to back it forever? 3. Or the conflict drags on, with neither side able to fully win, but also unwilling to compromise. None of these options are easy. Each comes with risk and sacrifices. So here's where we stand. Trump has managed to push Putin and Zelensky closer to the negotiation table. The US and Europe are preparing massive military and security packages, but the core issues, land and NATO, are still unresolved. The big question is, can there be peace without sacrificing Ukraine's sovereignty or security? What do you think? Should Ukraine compromise for peace or should it fight until it regains all its territory? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you want more breakdowns of global politics explained simply. Thank you.